Alright, you motherfuckers, all eyes on me. If I catch you even looking at anything else, I'm gonna whoop your ass like a runaway slave. I ain't trying to turn you out. I'm just trying to teach you the game.
Listen. Hey y'all, so this video was inspired by a lot of my most favoritist reality TV shows out right now. The latest episodes of our favorite shows have in some way or another been surrounding sex, right? And I kind of have intertwined their scenarios with scenarios that are very close in my life regarding people who I know. So stay tuned and let's talk. I dated my ex. The last relationship I was in, the sex was terrible, honey. He was such a good guy. Everybody was like, man, you got a good man, Tottie. Blah, 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 blah. He was such a good guy, but the sex wasn't good. So I was very much in Melody's situation. I didn't like the sex. We had sex. I don't know what Melody's issue is. Apparently he doesn't know either. And that's a part of the problem that you need to acknowledge, because there was a lot that happened before we get to the explosion. And we need to realize, for example, when you and your mate are not connecting sexually, that's when you need to start seeking therapy. So you got the money to do it. That's when you go seek counseling and help and try to figure out what to do about this, because common sense is supposed to tell you if we don't do something about it now, it's going to get worse and worse. We need to figure out how to fix this now. But I will say this. He was such a good man. I did not want to end things. After a while, I couldn't have sex with him anymore because I didn't like it. And the thing about what a lot of y'all are doing out there, and a lot of y'all have gotten used to this, and so did your grandmas and your mamas and everybody else. A lot of people, a lot of women are having sex with their men for their men. And that's your problem. When you don't really like having sex and you're only having sex for the other person, it's not going to work out. It don't matter if you try to fake it till you make it. It don't matter if you tell them the truth. It's not going to work out. It's disgusting, it's belittling, it's hurtful to yourself. Now here's the thing. After the 8th time we had sex, and I would just drag it out as long as I could and just chill and say, nah, I'm such a sexual person. And I'd just be like, nah, let's just do this, do that. And I was thinking, like, if he could just make me fall more in love with him, maybe I want to have sex more. And I'm completely capable of having sex without love. So, what's this? The sex is just bad. He doesn't know that though. And after the 8th time, and after I string him along for like 2 weeks, I'm like, listen, I don't know how to tell you this, and I've been struggling figuring out how, but I don't enjoy our sex. And he says I'm lying, I'm tripping. He's like, man, I'm good. What you talking about? He was recently divorced, so he might have been good to his ex because she didn't know no better, or she could have, like so many other women, had sex for him. So many women have sex for the man, and you're not supposed to do that. When you keep doing all of these things in a relationship for a man, you end up looking crazy when you're like, I did this, and that. And everybody, we got to stop condoning it and saying, damn, she did so much and he is so trifling for doing that to her. No, we are promoting womanhood, grown womanhood. We're promoting intelligence. We're promoting thinking shit through and asking yourself at that point in time, why am I doing this? Don't you do nothing for a man because you want something in return. You don't do nothing for nobody. Don't let nobody borrow no money. You don't do nothing for nobody because you want something in return, unless it is 100% business. Okay? Don't be out here thinking that because you're nice to people, they're going to be nice to you. Because you do for people, they're going to do for you. Because you had their back, they're going to have your back. That's not how it goes. Life will teach you that. As life shows you that, pay attention. Don't ignore it.
Girl, get back on the topic.
Okay, smart women over here. So anyways, I tell him the sex is bad. He asks, for another chance. I tell him, unfortunately, you've been redeeming yourself. I've, been letting you redeem yourself without talking to you about it. And each time I've hated it, and I just don't want to do it anymore. And, you know, so we break up or whatever, and he ain't, whew, he don't like me. But I had to do what I had to do. So with that being said, if you are the person on the other end of it, here's the thing. See, I could have kept dating him without having sex with him, honestly, because I think he was a good guy. But how I feel like I was wrong for stringing him along that long. You see what I'm saying? I feel like I was wrong for stringing him along as long as I did, and so does he now. Now that he knows, the last time I did talk to him, he said to me, "You used me." He said, "You used me." He said, "You knew you didn't want to have a full relationship with me," which I did know, which is what it means when you don't want to have sex, unless you're asexual. He said, "You knew you didn't want to have a full relationship with me, and you waited and waited and waited to say anything." And I did tell him, which was the truth. I told him, you know, I wanted to see if it could get better. That's it. Like, I wasn't trying to use you, but I think you're a good guy, and I wanted us to work out, you know, because I know we liked each other. And I just wanted to see if things could get better. And then one day I realized they weren't going to get better, so I had to tell you. And shit, one day I realized I wasn't going to try anymore, you know. And something has to be said. I mean, both people have to be held accountable. If his sex isn't good, that's not just something to roast him about and kiki about. You know what I'm saying? Because to someone else, it probably is good. You know what I'm saying? But does he deserve to be in a relationship with a woman who doesn't want to have sex with him? That feels gross. So I'm just going to tell you something that I have experienced through having male friends.
3, 2, 1.
Platonic male friendships. So I had a friend who had gotten divorced. He divorced from a preacher's daughter. And when they divorced, you know, they went to marriage counseling to try to put it off and see if it could work out. And after, you know, it didn't work out or whatever, he confided in me about some of the things they discussed during their divorce. And one of them was the fact that, contrary to popular belief, her being the preacher's daughter meant nothing. She was not a freak. She was not a freak at all. He said that he would have to do so much to get her to have sex. She wanted to be pursued. She wanted him to do everything, to take the lead. She never initiated it, and he felt like a predator. He said, "I felt like I had to be a predator to get her to have sex." This person did cheat, to be honest. He did cheat. And I was just like, 100%, I mean, you're wrong. You never should have did that. You know, what was you doing? Blah, 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 blah. You know, going in for the most part, just, not going in, but just telling him, well, it's your fault. Like, there's nothing to blame her for. But when he told me that, I understood that. You know, and I'll tell you why later. I understood what he was saying. You know, when you're constantly trying to pursue someone sexually and they're not ever acting like they want it, that's not attractive. And if your dude likes that, I mean, it's one thing to role play like the cute little innocent girl or whatever, but if your guy likes to have to pressure you into sex and force you into it all the time, you might want to worry about that. For, you know what I'm saying? Like, if your guy likes the fact that you don't want to have sex and he has to do so much to make you, you might want to ask yourself if he's a predator. Because, I mean, it's understandable to not want to have to chase somebody who's supposed to already be yours. I had another friend one day, and he said the same thing to me. Him and his baby mama had reconnected, and, you know, one day I was just talking to him. I noticed something. I was like, well, what's been going on in your life? You know, every now and then the brother just be like, I'm glad somebody asked. You know what I'm saying? I don't think guys tend to open up as much as we do, heterosexual guys. So, what's going on, you know? And he's like, well, you know, me and my baby mama they had just split up again at the time. And he was like, I just didn't know what to do. He was like, we used to, you know, be so sexual. They would have threesomes and things like that. And now all of a sudden, she doesn't really want to, you know, have sex. He was like, it's like every time we have sex, I have to initiate it, and I have to do so much to get her ready for it. And, you know, I understood what he was saying. My response was, I understand that it does not feel good to feel like the person you're having sex with doesn't really want to have sex with you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, is a guy weird because he just wants the sex to be consensual and mutual? Is a guy weird because he wants to be pursued too? Like, could you imagine, women, we get so used to thinking like that, but could you imagine having to do so much to sleep with a man? The funny thing is if the roles were reversed and your man didn't want to sleep with you, you'll say he was cheating. You'll say something was wrong with him. You'll say he's probably gay. So I don't know why you
What
guys
she
think that you're
said?
supposed to feel so different. I'll tell you this. Now we're gonna get to the juicy stuff. If you're having sex and you're not enjoying it, it's because you don't know what you're doing. Okay? If you don't enjoy having sex, it's because you don't know how to have sex. You don't know how to have sex for yourself. You should come, women, you should come every time you have sex because you know how to make sure you come. Even with the guy that I told you was not good in bed, I did my part to make sure I orgasmed. Every time. Every time I have sex, I orgasm. Every time I have sex, I orgasm. The only way I would not orgasm is if a guy was just like this and didn't last no time at all. He didn't give me enough time to. That's the only way you'll catch me slipping and I don't orgasm. Otherwise, I'm going to orgasm every time I have sex, just like a man does. And you know, it's so, I know women are not out here coming like they're supposed to, because I've been told that I come more than the average person. You're supposed to come every time you have sex, just like a man does. Why are you not coming? Why are you not making sure that when you have sex, you're having sex to orgasm? What's the point in having sex? That's why you don't like it that much. Because you're not getting the happy ending and you're not feeling the climax. You're not feeling the full potential of sex. That's why you don't like it that much. When sex is good, you can use it as an energizer to put a little sprinkle on top of your day. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know how to fuck. That's what it is. You don't know how to fuck for yourself. You might be able to do tricks all on the dick, spin around, jump around, pick a pellet, cotton, all of that. But you don't know how to make sure you're orgasming every time you have sex. That's why you don't enjoy sex as much. It has nothing to do with women not liking sex as much as men. It's about women not knowing how to make sure that they orgasm every time they have sex so that they can enjoy it just as much as men do. When you're just offering yourself to be used by a man, then you're not going to enjoy it that much. Okay? When you are having sex to provide a service, to keep your man satisfied, to keep him happy, you're not going to enjoy it as much. And you're going to get to the point to where you're like, I don't want to have sex. Because you're not enjoying it that much.
3, 2, 1.
So, I say all this to say, we have to stop crucifying men for telling the truth. All of those men agreed, even the ones who are in happy marriages. Sex is important. I don't know why it's not important. The only reason I can think of it not being as important to other people is either you are just being a hypocrite and judging a man more harshly than you're judging yourself, ladies. Either that's the case, or you don't know how to fuck for yourself. And that's your problem. Stop having sex to provide a service to your man and make sure you're having sex to provide a service to yourself so that you enjoy it.
Message.
If the only reason you're having sex with your man is because you don't want him to leave, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. You're going to regret it. It's going to be on that long list of things that you did to satisfy this man and keep him happy. And when things don't work out, you just can't believe you did all this for him. You have no business doing that. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you what it felt like to me. It felt like voluntary rape.
Damn. If that man see this video, he gonna hate me forever.
Period. Having sex with a man whose sex I did not enjoy, which was me only having sex to serve him and satisfy him, it felt like voluntary rape because I was allowing you to use my body. I didn't even get paid for it.
Make that money. Don't let it make you.
Shit, rather get paid for it. And y'all be out here judging these prostitutes, these call girls. You be at home doing the same thing, making an exchange for sex. Shut your weak up, okay? You be doing the same thing. Stop doing that. That's so weak. Stop doing that. And the honest to God truth is that there are a lot of men who don't care. There are a lot of men who don't care that you don't want to do it. They don't mind that you just want to lay there and not be into it. But all I got to say is this, and this is the truth. Whether it's your man, whether it's your woman, somebody come into their life, they get that opportunity to make an appearance and they show out, you on that break, and they meet somebody and that person they meet don't mind going him. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something, you get you a good freak, a freak that got their stuff together, that person will give you a run for your money. A good freak, reliable, trustworthy, they got their stuff together too. They just free, sexually free like candy. You know, we gotta bring up Candy when we talk about freaks. You know, at first I wasn't on the train, but when she got that little dungeon party started, I was like, okay. And I'm like, okay. And up to me, and coming from my generation, I'm like, having sex to keep him satisfied. Okay, whatever. And so the next day I come back and I was like, this might be a little TMI, but did you orgasm? Because it don't sound like you like sex. She said she remembered orgasming one time. A 94-year-old woman with her mind intact recalled orgasming one time. I told my friend one time, she said her and her dude weren't having that much sex. Perfect example. Her and her husband were not having a lot of sex. The girl got thicker than a Snicker. He stopped fucking her and she was like, what's wrong with him? Why he didn't want to have sex? Is he gay? She said she was asking him all kind of questions, trying to figure out what's wrong with him. And I told her to go and buy a bullet, right? So she goes and buys the bullet. She said the bullet didn't satisfy her, so she threw it away. I'm like, how the hell the bullet didn't satisfy you? She said, girl, that thing was too little. I put that thing in me, it almost got lost. And I'm like, you don't put a bullet. Do y'all know that? Do you know that the bullet goes on your
Pearl?
Do you know that your orgasm is going to be intense and easily gotten by utilizing the
Pearl?
Are y'all aware of that? Are you aware that when you have sex with somebody, you lay your body against theirs, your pelvic area, and make sure you got a hump. You got a hump with it so you can get that friction going and work yourself up to that orgasm. You got to make sure you're humping yourself. If you're getting hit from behind, go ahead and spread them legs wide. You ain't got to have your feet out, but spread the knees wide at least and let your
Pearl
legs go against the bed. You got to make sure you're
humping
for yourself, or you're not going to enjoy it. Can't be out here fucking
engaging in bland sex.
That your man wants to have more sex. Sex is really important. It's really important. And if you only get to have it with one person from this day forward and you and that person are not compatible, that's a very disgusting place to be in. I know a girl right now lying to her husband out the back of her throat. He believes in everything she say. There's just no way his wife would lie to him is what he think. And she know it. And she ain't gonna never get caught. Meanwhile, he done told on himself left and right. But anyways, y'all, I just wanted to come and have a chit chat, talk to y'all or whatever, open up a bit. I really just plan to do this for like 5 minutes. I've been here for like 30 minutes. So a lot of people might not agree with me. Some people just are not that sexual. Some people are actually asexual and just don't like sex that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, are not sexually attracted to anyone. That's what asexual means, right? You're not sexually attracted to anyone. So some people have extreme fetishes. Some people like urination. Some people like a little pain. Some people like to be bound and whipped and spanked and have, wax poured all over them. Some people like role playing. You know, it is what it is. But I think everybody's a bit of a narcissist, and I think we have to make sure that if we want, sometimes I find myself hating the things that we have had to experience as women.
Message.
It's so crazy, especially being a black woman. I have to be like in the middle of being strong and not making excuses that maybe other women will be able to make, you know, but then I also have to deal with what society has been showing a woman is supposed to be, like playing with your nose, when not N-O-S-E, but your N-O''S, playing with your nose, because we are taught, especially if you're brought up religious, don't be a hoe, don't be promiscuous. If you're really damn near taught women are not supposed to like sex like that. And you know the funny thing about that, for us to be taught that we're not supposed to actually be out here being as sexual as men, here's my question: who the fuck was the man supposed to be having sex with?
If you're teaching men it's okay to be super sexual and women that it's not, then what type of sexual culture are you meaning to create?
So anyways, you don't play with your nose. You tell your daughters this. Tell your daughters, don't play with your nose. Tell your nieces, don't play with your nose. Tell your nephews too, don't play with your nose. Not this nose, but N-O''S. And what I mean is, there's no such thing as no, stop, stop, unless you mean stop. Let your nose always be no. Never do that whole, I don't want to be perceived as a hoe, so I'm not going to really tell him I want to do it. Don't do that. If you're not ready to say, yes, this is what I want, you're not ready to have sex. If he's not ready to accept that without judging you, he's not ready for you. Period. There'll be another one, probably in a couple weeks. Okay? Move forward. Move forward. Do not play with your nose. Because if every time you have sex with someone, you're too ashamed, too bashful, too shy, too Christian to say, yes, I want to do it. Give me that thing, daddy. You know what I'm saying? If you're too shy to tell the truth and say how you really feel, then one day you're going to mean that no. You're going to mean that no. And he's going to think to himself, she always say no. Or he always say no. Okay? Now you're in this position of, is it true that you always say no? Yes. Is it true that this situation is different? Yes. Now what does that mean for the both of you? If this person consistently has had the same experience with you acting like you don't want it but you do, how was this person supposed to know that this time is different? How was this person supposed to know for sure that this time is different? And how do you feel comfortable pursuing this situation knowing you say no every time? So you tell people no can't mean no unless you let it mean no. Stop saying no but you mean yes. I've heard that shit in a song. I think I heard Remy Ma say that. I said no but I really meant yes. Something like that. No, we don't say no no more. We
At least not to mean yes.
Say what you mean and mean what you say. Okay, guys, if you're still here, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in and for watching me and supporting me. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I wanted to take a minute to just let you know that I won't be on social media for a while, actually. I don't plan to make any YouTube videos for a while. I'm not sure, really. But I had so much fun making and editing this video. I really did. However, I just need to focus on my own life a little bit more. That's one. And two, somehow I've accumulated some stalkers. I have a few stalkers who are like obsessed with me, and it's getting pretty violent, guys. It's so weird. I'm a nobody, and I have people who live to see what I'm doing. They can't breathe without, I mean, it's really that intense, believe it or not. They've made multiple of accounts to say mean things to me and to just want to watch me. You know, it's just crazy, like on live streams and stuff. I have this guy who's like entering my live streams, and I'll block him, and he'll come back in like 6 different pages until I just get off, and he'll just be saying shit. And sometimes he just comes in from a page and he's quiet and he's watching me, you know, no telling what he's doing. It's just so weird. And there's a female who's obsessed with me. I mean, gosh, I hope you guys get your own lives. Nobody's going to stop my shine, but I'm definitely, you know, just taking a break to focus more on myself, because somehow, like, I feel like I kind of forgot what it was like to live life without social media. So I love everyone who supports me and who loves me. And just say a prayer for me, because the last thing I want to do is kill somebody. Now, when you tell me you thought you was in a good marriage and then you find out your man cheating, I get it. When you tell me you forgive him, I get it. When you tell me he messed up again, okay. You tell me you forgive him, okay. You tell me he messed up again, okay. You tell me you forgive him, oh, okay. Now you tell me he messed up again, bitch.